Heaven or Hell. Duel 1. Let's rock.
With a Street Fighter franchise fumble-fucking the 5th iteration and consequently selling about as well as a Sarkeesian Kama Sutra, leave it to Guilty Gear to gather the smoldering rivulets of the fallen fighting genre, crank the Animu metal humping hijinks to 11.5, and outright resurrect that shit with a full-bore heavy metal makeover. Sure, the color palette has more pastels than a bag of Easter Skittles. Sure, it's got more buckles and zippers than a Hot Topic hoedown, but if you, like me, can shelve your throbbing Animu hate boner for a beat, you're ultimately forced to concede that this game is the supreme distillation of metalliferous might. What Doom 4 was to the FPS, Guilty Gear Xrd and its Revelator expansion are to the fighting genre. An unrepentant reminder that long before the participation trophy Babby's first fighting game Ultra Combo Cacophony that kicked the fuck off with Street Fighter 4, the genre was truly built on tech cancels, titties, and tick throws. And while I readily concede that the new Guilty Gear's perfectly passive story mode, wherein the player is reduced to a bewildered bystander as the lead writer wrings his half-inch hose to completion, is about as hands-on as a quadriplegic lap dance,
Straight to hell!
You really have to be gobsmacked by the ass-pounding paradox that while Street Fighter V was communally castrated en masse for having all the narrative appeal of a penis pump pamphlet, latter-day Guilty Gear games, if anything, suffer from a surfeit of the very same. But as with all things in life, it's all about context and perspective.
They say smoking gives you cancer. Sure, you can be negative and look at that as a bad thing, or you can see that smoking, gives you cancer. It gives it to you. It's a present. Well, here's cancer. Thank you very much, Mr. Cigarette.
So sure, you could look at it like the writing staff is mauling you with their mongoloid meat hammers, or you could say, fuck it, I got a complimentary DVD of a shitty anime with my video game purchase, and should the need possess you for a more interactive experience, you can mosey your monkey ass on down to a little thing called the fucking arcade mode.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's
John C.
You remember arcade modes, right? I may be carbon dating myself here, but that's when a single player, meaning one not flanked by a troglodytic triumvirate of pop-colored Alpha Sigma Sigma frat fairies or predisposed to bandy Portuguese profanity with a Paraguayan preteen, plants his posterior and plays the shit, and brace for a shock here, folks. By him fucking self! And then you ride a Sasquatch through Narnia where you witness a police shooting and people actually wait for all the evidence to be reviewed before determining whether or not it was justified. Just a crazy kid with a dream, folks. In an outright inversion of Mortal Fighter Street Combat logic, upon selecting said arcade mode, you'll find it festooned with favorites, and in a convulsion of common sense, outside of the odd tweak, they play exactly how they're fucking supposed to. No one turned Bedman into a breakdance fighter, Soul Bad Guy ate a goddamn grappler, enacting a highly esoteric metaphysical philosophy, whereupon when something works for 9 tetrillion butt-fucking installments, you elect to leave it the fuck alone! Why in the fuck is this a special order in 2016? Why is it between increasingly unplayable Soul Calibur installments, Namco go 20,000 leagues out of their way to lovingly recreate every nipple divot in Ivy's slingback fuck harness, but if I dare indulge my mad impulse to actually play the fucking thing, my reward is a circuitous mire of idiosyncratic movesets inverted betwixt installments for quite literally no discernible butt-fucking reason. To quote an ancient Roman maxim, the particulars of which apply to our present quandary, fuck Namco! Even if we accept the premise that modern gamers have the attention span of a gerbil on a Jolt Cola drip, how the fuck does arbitrarily perma-fucking the characters' playstyles and movesets on an annual basis accommodate this retardation in any fashion whatsoever? You want to accommodate the mentality of modern gamerdom? Dangle a shiny ball in front of their faces. They'll be immobilized by paroxysms of glee. Now, paint a nipple on it. Congratulations, it's now a serious work of art. Enjoy your 10 out of 10 from IGN.com. The point is that Guilty Gear recognizes what Capcom appears stubbornly incognizant of. To alter your gameplay to court a casual audience is to lose a casual audience. Because casual audiences don't decide what to play, they are simply told what to play. By advertisements, by E3 hype, but perhaps more profoundly by their peers. This is why Resident Evil 5 sold like world peace, and 5 minutes after launch everyone was talking about how shit it was.
Sheva, hurry! 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 Come on! Hurry!
Once their buddies bailed out of the bandwagon, so did the casual audience. Make a good game first, and let the marketing department worry about pawning it off on the preteens. To that end, Guilty Gear keeps the movesets concise and mercifully coherent, the controls crisp and responsive, and even with a formula that's undergone more alterations than Hillary's pantsuit, or email server, the briny brew remains as potent as ever. But one of the most appealing aspects of modern Guilty Gear by far is its superlative, if sparsely populated, multiplayer. With the moribund memories of the DOA franchise up for grabs, Arc System Works took firm grasp of its cadaverous cleavage, gave it a vigorous squeeze, and out popped a DOA 4 online lobby and matchmaking system that has since proven to be light years ahead of its time, guiding a customizable avatar through casual or ranked matches, training, or even titty fucking tournaments, even when you can't find players in your region, as is the case with depressing frequency for a game of this caliber. Fiddle fucking around with the myriad modes will keep you well the fuck engaged until a player arrives that actually is. Graphically speaking, for fighting games, the leap from artfully crafted 2D sprites to jankily assembled 3D models more often ends with a face plant than a flourish. Street Fighter tried it, now Ryu looks like he's smuggling butthole tumors in his biceps, Ken's rocking a saltwater taffy toupee, and the color palette's fruitier than Carmen Miranda's hat. Guilty Gear rather inexplicably weathered the transition with a triple axle dismount while giving the finger to the fucking judges. Sure, rotoscopic 3D gives me eyeball aids, but in a video game context, fuck, it still gives me eyeball aids, but compared to the Capcom alternative, this game is a fucking Michelangelo fresco. And hey, you remember that dubstep versus metal soundtrack rant for the Doom 4 review? Yeah, we'll invert that shit and punctuate the endless procession of asymmetrical lady lads wielding Buick-sized buster swords with a sonic siege best described as an arpeggiopocalypse, molten metal crafted for a singular purpose, to perfectly embody the unrepentant batshit lunacy transpiring therein. And I am elated to report the latest Guilty Gear offering is no fucking exception. Look, the moment you launch an enemy into a merciless 30-hit aerial rushdown as they tumble helplessly through the amorphous Animu sphere, just as guitarist and lead designer Daisuke Ishiwatari launches into an incendiary solo, it is then and only then that you will have 1/16 of an inkling of what the Guilty Gear experience truly is. With mammoth melodies, savage synth work, and searing fretcraft abounding, the net result is a fast, fun, and yet simultaneously tactical experience that's every bit as fun to listen to as it is to play. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
Comes a daredevil. Here comes a daredevil. Here comes a daredevil.